Recording has started now, so we can go ahead and start the meeting.
All right. So. Oh, yes, absolutely. Let's see. Looks like we are all here, which is wonderful. Looks like we need to approve the agenda first and foremost. Does anyone have any edits or items that they would like to add to the agenda at this time? Oh, thank you. Can someone, who was involved in creating the agenda, let me know what addition of introductions and addition of letter from the mayor, or is that just, in the packet here?
That was actually from the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay,
So yeah, that was the items that took place during the last.
gotcha. That is actually added into the minutes that we're reviewing. Excellent.
Chair, there's a date here. Yeah, the public corner. You go up. Yeah,
Thank
just
you,
that way.
thank you, thank you. Now I'm with you. All right, great. Okay, approval, so seeing that no one has any edits or changes to the agenda, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as provided?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second it.
Fabulous. Okay, and we need to look at those minutes from July 2nd, which I was just asking about. Does anyone have any notes, questions, or concerns about minutes for the July 2nd meeting?
I do a staff,
Yes.
item number 6. Uses the word recommendation. And the memo did not recommend that, and it did not make a recommendation as to the mayor, full-time or part-time, it just provided information. Roman numeral 6.
Are you 5, 6? Or, yeah,
Roman
sorry.
numeral 6.
That Roman numeral is helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, because I was, yeah.
What was the wording that you used, David?
It was just information that was provided to the salary commission. It wasn't a recommendation, just anything,
What would you like that to state?
information.
Information.
Information should be provided to the salary.
Provided.
Yeah, information provided to the commission on the mayor.
Being full-time.
My last name's still
On the position of, of the position of the mayor.
right there.
That's- Thank you, David. When I saw this, I read it like 3 times, I'm like, wait, no recommendation in there.
I understand certainly you're wanting to make sure that that's crystal clear. I know that when I reviewed these minutes before they were sent out, there were a number of things that I read and went, wow, that's clear as mud. I don't understand what's being said. We want everybody to understand what's being said. So I appreciate that. My name is spelled wrong in that particular one as well.
Same Roman numeral.
Yes,
Thank you.
and throughout, actually, and I know.
Some of yours, okay.
Yes, some of them are okay, but Roman numeral 8 is incorrect as well.
Oh, no, so sorry.
Oh, no,
Correct that for sure.
I really don't care on a personal note, but this is public information.
Same with mine and everywhere except for the first page, has it right, it's TY, not YD. But you're within 99% of the population, it's about that.
Oh,
I'm 100% sure I would have gotten that from Jason.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
Two Gs or the Y goes first up there.
Are there any other edits that anyone is concerned about bringing up at this time?
Do you need a motion to approve the amended minutes?
Yes, we will. Everybody good moving forward? I know we want to make sure everybody's had plenty of time to really look at those minutes. Excellent. Yes, that would be. That would.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I second it.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. All in favor?
Uh,
Raise your right. Yeah, any opposed?
Do we need to vote on the first one? Approve the agenda?
Yeah, did you not vote?
We did not vote. I'm gonna move backwards. Can we vote to whether or not we'd like to approve the agenda? All in favor, raise your right hand.
We amended the agenda, so we couldn't approve it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we just
So-
approved.
That's what I was
amended
saying.
agenda.
Sure what you got, yeah.
Yeah, so
What do we do?
We already voted to approve the amended agenda. That was the second one, so we're fine. We don't need to go back.
Fabulous. That's good. Right.
yeah, because we voted on the amendment.
Okay. Okay, we have voted to approve the amended agenda and to approve the amended minutes, and we should be moving on. Is that correct? Fabulous. During this time, citizens may comment on subjects of interest not on the agenda or agenda items. Please state your name clearly, and do we also ask folks to state where they're residents so that we can ensure whether or not they are within city limits?
No, you can ask for
Okay.
that, but for
We
this
don't.
type of process.
Fabulous.
Ask for that, and then there's a 3-minute allotment.
Excellent. So individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and we have 15 minutes for this item. Public comment may be submitted online at least 2 business days prior. Have we received any public comments online?
No, I checked with the city clerk, and she did not receive any that were assigned to be sent to you. They were ones sent to council, but that was a separate process.
Thank you. And do we have any public at this time who would like to comment in the room? No? Okay, thank you very much. So we are moving on to item number 5, discussion, action, presentation, and report items. So we have the salary report and order for Mayor July 2024, which is from this last commission's meeting. Sabrina, can you verify for me, this is the report and order that was provided to the city council at the
Oh,
last
okay.
meeting, correct?
Yes,
Yes,
that's right.
fabulous. I just wanted to make sure I'm looking at the same document.
Yes.
I know Mary Elizabeth and I were both at the city council meeting last week. when this was presented to city council. I know Melissa, you and Jason both were not. Were you able to, have you, reviewed that council meeting, or are you aware of anything that has occurred since then? Okay, that meeting went very late. It closed out at about 11:30. City council had a very robust conversation about this and the way that it came out, and it was on the salary commission. There were concerns that I am using my own words, not quoting anyone else, but it seemed that there were at least 2 or 3 city council members who were very concerned about the way this went about. They held some concerns about who was on this commission and how we were appointed, regardless of the fact that we were appointed the same way that every commission member was appointed.
Who raised the concerns?
Councilman Hoffmeyer, Councilman Stuckey, and Councilman Wiesner. And so there was a fairly robust conversation about who was on this and how we got here. Some implication that things were perhaps not gone about in the most direct and or above board manners on getting us on this council. I believe you can go back and see the recording and say that I was pretty firm in my belief that anyone who's in this room is doing it for the right reasons and has the integrity and intellect to come to their own decisions about what should and shouldn't happen. The overwhelming concern for the optics of how this happened was also put forth on multiple occasions throughout the evening. I don't think that changes anything we do here. I think we continue to do what we think is right and what we believe is best for the city, as we have done up to this point. But I do want you to be aware of it and aware that there are, there are things in paper right now. There are lots of things happening with council and with the news cycle and Facebook as well. That I have already received some anonymous nasty comments and and received several phone calls about it. So just be aware that that is something that may be coming your way as well.
You know, like the company.
I've read this life for so, just waiting for this moment.
So can I ask a question?
You can ask whatever you
So
want.
at the meeting, they were presented all the information that we had to make the decision. We didn't just pull information. We had comparable, we had everything, and that's where the decision was made by. So they were presented that meeting. So
Couple of things with that, and then Mary Elizabeth, I'd love to have you jump in. First is that they were given a packet with many pages of documentation and information. I also received that. I believe all of us actually received it in our email when we were invited to join for the city council meeting last week. So you can see exactly what they were provided with in that. It was not, the recordings of these meetings had not been posted online prior to the last city council meeting, so they were not privy to what had actually happened in the meetings. While our agendas were posted on city council's page as they were supposed to be, the supporting documents that go with our agendas and our meeting minutes were not all up to date prior to that meeting. So city council had some big concerns, I think, because they didn't understand the information that was provided to us. And they weren't privy to the information that was provided to us prior to that meeting in the same way that they would have been for other commissions. That has since been remedied. All of the agendas, the meeting minutes, and the recordings are all up, and all of the attachments for the meeting minutes are also all up. Emma, thank you so much for taking the lead and making that happen. I really appreciate that immensely.
Yeah.
So I do understand that was some of their concern. So that's what I can say about that. Mary Elizabeth, if there's something else you wanted to to say in regards to that?
Only adding that those the information that they received or didn't receive wasn't actually the primary reason for the complaint. The actual fact that how we were chosen. And then the wording of we had no other options. And I was just surprised by that because I'm pretty sure that if they had concerns about who we are and who nominated us, that was all in their agenda when they approved us or how we were approved. And there was also opportunity for each council member to also bring forth anyone that they wanted to
Ralph, was it-
fill or to halt and not vote for anyone on this commission.
So we're aware of.
So the
everyone that's
part-
been
Absolutely.
appointed.
Right.
They actually had
They
to
had
approve
to-
every one of
They
them.
have to confirm you.
They have
Okay.
to, there's no.
I didn't know.
So
That's
that
good to
part
know.
is the overriding part about how did this happen and who are these people? Is like,
They knew who the.
it's like inviting someone to dinner and saying, you like, they ate the food and they cooked it and you gave it to them and then said, I don't know, I never knew they were here to eat. You invited them. And they sat at the table with you and you looked them in the face. And now you're saying, well, I think they don't know how to cook. You ate the whole plate. And so this is the part where I'm just very bothered by that part. And then the part about the optics. The last council meeting, there was a very serious, very serious conversation with constituents about the parks. There was a full room of constituents that came from all over that had time to speak and spoke, and the council paid attention, went over process, and disagreed with the majority of the people that were in the room. And then we get to this part, and the primary thing is optics. Not facts, but the feeling of optics. And so at this point, facts and feelings are not the same thing. And so what we're dealing with now is that people are in their feelings, their unprofessional feelings at that. And so with that, feelings have been plastered into ways that become taken as bullying. Because you can only bully when there are no facts. You don't have to bully when you have facts. You just have to speak the facts. And so now here we are. Commissioner Scrivener is being bullied. We are being disparaged as our integrity. My profession requires me to take ethics every 2 years. I understand the ethical dilemma. You guys all know that the first day I was not like, we're not going to approve this because this is a bigger conversation. This actual conversation is not about the mayor, the current mayor. My other concern was that the commission or the council, the wording was, I think we might be setting up the city for failure. What? We might be setting up the city for failure for having a mayor that's full-time and holding that mayor accountable because maybe he won't work full-time. So what you're saying, council, is that you would prefer to hold a lower standard of performance than to achieve an uplift to the higher level of performance? The council has full authority to dissolve this commission. That's a fact. And so instead of spending time about feelings and I feel this and I feel the optics and I feel mad and I'm upset because it's not me and I should get a raise too, then dissolve this commission and then start over. Okay, there's that part. And I just want to say one more part. And then I'm just gonna, the other part is that they also have the ability to create process. The council does. At least to present some types of things that they would consider or want to have in process, for this commission, for future, for the mayor, and for themselves. You have opportunity for process improvement. And so, them not knowing what was on or what this commission does, how about that? The city council not knowing what this very intricate and very important commission does, that is not the mayor's fault that they don't know their job. That is their fault. And to have tantrums because we didn't get the answers to the test, because we didn't know that the test was going to be hard, that's ridiculous. So I'm just saying that for the record or recording. But if I'm a manager and my employee comes to me and I go to the CEO or whoever and I say, the CEO's going to want to know why you don't know your job. And the council CEO is the people of this town. Why don't you know what each of these commissions do? And why don't you know your limitations within those commissions? This commission did not create the rules as the commission stands. We were voted or appointed here and sat with it. I didn't know that the mayor was working part-time. I didn't know that that was a part-time job with a full-time equivalent. How did I know that? I'm finding that out right now. I didn't know that the council is also one FTE and then they work part-time. But what I do know is if you're only looking at the agenda when you get it, because you're part-time, don't be mad if you don't know what the job is.
Thank you for that, Mary Elizabeth. I think those are important things to note. I do agree that the majority of the conversation that happened at city council was about being irritated with the process and being irritated with the results of that process while bringing forth no solutions to that or any, it was a lot of talking about things that they were not going to affect change about and not talking about the issue we came there to talk about, which was indeed this report and order. So does anyone have any other questions about that before we move on?
I do have a question.
Yes.
To David. David, in the council meeting, and you were hiring for the remainder, the $12,500 for the remainder of position that was paid for out of a grant. I can't remember.
And the economic development reserve,
So that money was specifically only for that position.
it was for economic development purposes.
So it does not come out of the budget for the mayor's salary. It does not, does it affect the mayor's salary?
That's a separate item.
So it's not, and I'm saying this because the insinuation was that the mayor is getting a raise, but now they can't fill this position because that $12,500 is now going to go, has to be taken care of the mayor. It's a totally separate bucket of money.
Right.
And so that was, I'm asking for clarity to understand that.
And for clarification of that position, when we were taking the council was an understanding of how they wanted to proceed, because that position was created using America Rescues Plan Act funding known as ARPA. And it was created with a limited term understanding, and we've reached almost that term of that position. So we wanted to understand going into budget how council wanted us to move forward. So that was the point of that item, was to say, here are some other things that you've talked about and that we've heard in the community that we might want to do. Do you want to continue down this road, or do you want to continue, trying something, just giving them the opportunity to weigh in before we move that forward as a budgetary item?
Right.
Because of the way that it was created.
Thank you. That is a really good point of clarification and making sure that is
Seemed like they didn't understand
available
that.
and that information is available and clear. Thank you. Okay. Is there anything else we need to do with the report in order for the salary recommendation of the mayor? No? Okay, fabulous. All right, now we are going to the Deputy City Administrator, Finance Director memo and the city or the council pay list.
So, let's see here. So based on the questions from the salary commission at the last meeting, they wanted to see a couple of things. One of them was city council member salaries throughout the state of Washington. We provided a list of all the city council member salaries. It's a 6-page attachment to the memo. So it's an alphabetical order by city name. And it has the monthly equivalent. About a certain percentage of cities are paid by meeting. And some cities are paid by month. So in order to estimate how much the payment would be per month for the cities that are paid by meeting, I just multiplied by 2. You know, just to get an estimate of some of those cities. Because I don't know exactly, you know, how many meetings a month some of these cities have. So that was just a rough estimate based on what's typically done in those cities. But anyhow, there's the list in alphabetical order. And it's I have the averages here. So in the memo, I show that the current Oak Harbor City Council monthly pay is $775. The average monthly pay, and that's using the equivalent monthly rate for 42 of those cities, pay per meeting, and also 12 cities don't pay. So see, the total,
Salary commission? Yes.
the total number of cities that responded to the survey was 217. 163 indicated that we pay their council members monthly. 42% indicated that we pay by the meeting, which is about 20% or so, and then 12 do not pay. So the average population of the 42 cities that pay by meeting is 2,457 people. While the average population of the 163 that pay monthly is 24,662, which is within a few percentage points of Oak Harbor's population. And then the average population of the 12 that do not pay is $1,319. So going back to the overall statistics, the average city population is 19,000 out of all the cities. And the average monthly pay is 568. Oak Harbor has 24,780 people as of the 2023 information that was included in the salary survey. So if you were to just simply take 24,780 and divide it by the average city population and multiply that against the average monthly pay, we get $738. But that $738 is less than the $775. Also, since the mayor's salary at the last meeting, we had the information that we provided from the the Association of Washington Cities, but it was decided to most closely match the salary to the city of Anacortes, by the salary commission. If you wanted to see what the city of Anacortes's council members' monthly pay is to match those up, that is $1,200. And I looked at the latest survey, which just came out, and that has not changed in the latest survey. It just came out, although the mayor's salary in the latest survey did increase by about $4,700.
And then Cordis.
In Anacortes.
From what we had.
From this, yeah.
From our previous.
Because you had the 2023 data. So the latest data, which is the 2024, the city council members' monthly pay has not changed. It's still $1,200 for the city of Anacortes since 2023 and the same in 2024, as reported by whoever filled out that survey for the city of Anacortes. So that's that portion. And then the benefits of the next portion. We want to take a break here and discuss the first portion, or did you want to move the benefits? No, we want the benefits. Okay.
Want to hold on?
Yeah,
Oh, that's fine.
I feel like it makes, that was a lot of really good information, but I might need a second to let it sink in.
Sure.
Thank you for that. I also want to address the fact that one, city council is currently all listed as one FTE.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna. You know, we talked about this. We're thinking, it doesn't, the FTE thing is really meant for like non-elected official employees because it relates to the regular employees and union employees benefits and all that. So we're thinking going forward, the next time we, like when we do the budget, which we're currently working on, we may change that to like the not applicable. Because that's just, that chart is really just for, it's really meant for, relating to like full-time employees or part-time employee benefits. It's not really meant for.
It's to match the scheduled hours.
Yeah.
So FTE is based on your scheduled hours of work, regularly, consistently scheduled.
Excellent. That's really important for us to note and to know, and I think it's something that city council will be, I have already personally heard from several council people that they will be addressing that at city council tomorrow, with some concerns about the fact that the mayor was previously listed at one FTE in spite of being working part-time in previous mayors and administrations. Yes, thank you.
And that chart was a carryover from like years gone by too.
I think that it has stuck in some people's craws that it was listed as one thing and another thing is happening. And I think that it's a fine and dandy thing to point out the fact that council is also
So were you.
listed incorrectly. So anyway, thank you for that. I really appreciate that information. That being said, I also solicited from the council directly how many hours they're reporting they're working. It doesn't look like that's been included in the document. I can pull up my email and tell you what they've all reported to me. Those emails were forwarded to me by Miss Julie Nestor from Historic Cities as city clerk. So just so that we can all have a note of this and it's reported for posterity. Councilman Stuckey said, if the salary commission is looking for more in-depth total, let me know. If I include things like chamber meetings, ribbon cuttings, events, reading packets, correspondence, etc., I'd say it comes to an average of about 25 hours per week.
The council, chamber luncheons, that's city council.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Shane Hoffmeyer said, this is certainly something that varies week to week and month to month. However, throughout my time on council, I've easily averaged approximately 30 hours a week of council specific work. Councilman Wiesner said, apologize. There we go. Hi, Julie. During a normal week, I spent about 2 hours a day, 6 days a week between communication and research. During meeting weeks, there's typically 3 to 4 hours going through packets and research, plus the meeting time. So I would think it averages to about 80 hours a month, which is 20 hours a week, just so that we're, yes, so we're comparing apples to apples.
Right? Is that
Yeah.
Wiesner, yes. Plus the social functions such as ribbon cuttings and such when they occur and I can attend. Councilman Wittgenstein sent the lengthy missive that says I spend about 15 hours a week on average. Councilman Arms. Councilwoman Arms said the council meetings and workshops average 3 hours each and 3 per month. equaling 9 hours per month. Event attendance can range from half an hour for ribbon cuttings to 3 hours or more for civic events. Meetings with the city administrator are generally 1 hour and are twice per month. And Julie notes that Councilman Arms is retired, and as she often does, is available to attend more meetings and events. I would guesstimate her hours per week spent on city business from what she's reporting at about 25 to 30 hours. And that last bit was from Julie, from the city. Marshall notes, between council meetings, workshops, the Parks and Recreation Commission, Island Transit, and discussions with staff, other council members, and our constituents. I swear I can talk. I can confidently say I spend a minimum of 20 hours per week on council-related items. Some weeks, this week, for example, I have spent closer to 40 hours on council-related items.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
That was Marshall, Eric Marshall. So he said 30 to 40 hours.
30 to 40 hours a week.
Yes,
He was mentioning that.
I'm sorry, 20 hours, 20 to 40.
Okay.
That was my bad. I
Okay, I thought,
said 20 to 40.
And the fluctuations due to situations when there's more.
Right, when there's longer meetings than, 5 to 7 hour meetings instead of 1 hour meetings. So we have that information as well.
So the only ones that respond.
You didn't get anything from Mayor Pro Tem Tyson?
Not,
Okay, just as a confirmation. So
I am going to double check my email.
No, I just
Just to make sure, but
to make sure it's consistent.
That everybody there?
it's not required time. No, little minimum.
We have,
Make sure.
we have a council procedures document that talks about their requirement at regular meetings and attendance, but workshops are not required. And that's the thing we always have to remind ourselves of.
So much opportunity.
Our council's pretty good at sending workshops, honestly. and meetings, so. That's why it's in the procedure document. They revise it. I want to say. Early this year, late last year, I was revision for that. And later.
My underwriting for instance. Specific lines are so much better than this law.
So just so we're all on the same page, if I add together, if I give us an average of these hours, if I use the low numbers for Arms and Marshall, I end up with 22.5 average hours per week. And if we do the high number, it's 26.6. I just added the numbers together and divided by 6, because that's the information we have. Anyone have any thoughts, concerns, comments about any of that?
My thought is that because punch in and punch out to round to the highest number to 30. Because of particular times that aren't normally calculated throughout the year. Could easily be that. So I would call it 30 hours a week. I have some level of expectation even that this would require just on an average. Because some people, you may be sick or you may not be out, but when there are, especially during this time of year, the out and about is a lot.
Absolutely. And if you've spent any time even standing next to a council person in public, you recognize that every interaction they have is with their council hat on, whether they want it to be or not. So,
Usually it's on the lower side too, when people estimate their hours, it's usually lower. You can forget about other things.
Right.
well,
To do.
you don't count the 2-second text and the 3-minute phone call and the hi, how are you? 5 minutes at the coffee shop. So,
Or do they know why you're asking?
Right.
So they would not. What's that?
They certainly do know that we're asking.
Right.
And they know why, because it was in my email
Right.
asking that. It was very clear that we were asking for that information because we were having this. You know, I also I think there's some argument to be made that some of the time that, you know, several of them said say spending time on social media. I'm not sure that I personally think that that counts as
No,
city council time, but
it's not.
that's a whole other thing.
Not unless they are social meeting on the city website. So if you want to social media on the city website, then that would be you acting as a council person.
And hi,
Right.
this is Hillary just interrupting, and
Yes.
Sabrina can confirm this. I don't believe any of the city council members have access to city social media or have their official council member social media accounts. All their social media is personal.
Right. We have a communications officer who fills that role and manages the city's social media account and website and other social media related pages.
So those who included that information in their hours should not have. And as a commission, we can certainly ask them, you know, a couple of them did state if you want further information about how we're spending that time, that we can request that. So it's really, you know, how comfortable you feel with moving forward with the numbers we currently have. Or if we want to solicit more information about that, about how they're spending their time. You know, we didn't do that for the mayor. So I feel like that's probably
That's a lot.
a lot to have them sit down and do. I don't know that I could do that for a volunteer position that I was in either. Or an elect, you know, it's just a lot to keep track of your time like that.
And I'm not bringing in a detective player, but certainly not gonna go on public record and say I don't do anything. Right? 20 is gonna be the minimum you're gonna say, and I think 20 is a very acceptable number. Right? So let's put it out there and that I'm a city councilman, I only work 4 hours a week. That's, you know, no one's gonna say that. So I don't know how accurate those numbers are.
I like the 30, and the reason I like the 30 and that we're having this discussion. Because again, the same discussion that we had as far as being made for the mayor. The discussion wasn't about the current mayor, for me.
Right.
This is about the future of Oak Harbor. We are currently probably managing the city with rules when it was 10,000 people. This is not 30 hours a week as a standard, and then creating or suggesting that the council create a standard for itself of 30 hours a week if they're not going to be full-time. And they're going to be part-time, and then creating that standard and then holding them to that. Because, and how that happens, I have no idea.
Well, and it's
But
not our job.
It's not our job to say that, but at least we're basing that on something, and then whoever gets to build off of that can say that's what it's being built off of. Versus, because we don't have any idea of what the previous was built off of, and then that rate has probably been that way for 10 years or more, and only going up because of cost of living. So in reality, and looking at Langley and Anacortes, Oak Harbor's population is more than those populations, and the city council was getting paid less. So I think that my suggestion at least is to equate that with the two cities that are equivalent at least $1,211, the $1,200 and $1,165 for the month. And then Oak Harbor is $775. That's kind of a slap as well.
You know what I would also like to look at is, I know that it's in this packet. In the meeting minutes somewhere, I believe, from the second is what cities specifically we looked at for the mayor. I know that you provided more than that.
Oh, yeah.
We landed on Anacortes, but there was a list of cities that we were looking at for the last one.
Under your report in order,
Fabulous, thank you.
Under the report and order, it's 1B.
Ah, gotcha. Thank you, Emma.
That's the population.
Oh, sorry.
But what is it?
I'm thinking more the money.
Yeah, it's money in the middle.
Yeah.
Fucking monthly equivalent.
Oh.
I'm bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
So you guys, I was wrong. I was looking at population, not money.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Back page.
Auburn was one of our cities that what's that? I'm just trying to pull those out for us. Anacortes. Sorry, can you say that again?
It's Langley by the meeting, but they pay by the meeting or they pay,
Can we find
it says monthly equivalent $50.
language, right?
Yeah.
$1 per month.
He was finding for the. That one down. Population. Right, ranking on. The population. Why is it up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems to be of Langley. Population 1,100 back.
Yeah.
Sheet underpaid
So we're now in the,
per month,
No,
$50.
$125 a month.
the data is a little different than what you have in the table just because it's the updated. It's for
This is 2024.
But I like, no,
What's on
What
his
do you have
table
in
is the
table?
monthly,
1165 and 50.
he's got the monthly equivalent here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is the monthly.
Oh, it's just maybe the short name.
This is population.
No, I get that population, but I thought you said 190 or something.
Yeah, this is one.
That's- I was just
This is
checking.
125 per month, but this is 2024 data. Yes, so they may have changed things.
That's what I was thinking based on some of the number changes.
okay.
Just for understanding.
And this time it's sorted by population. Thank you, David.
Yeah, this one's sorted by population and sorted by.
No, it's not. It's a-
A dollar an hour.
Dollar an hour.
So it's Langley is on this table somewhere and I'm
Yeah,
not
here.
finding it.
It's
I'm
on the
so sorry.
1,000.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you.
I guess this is helpful because the last time we were asking for population.
South Dakota,
I think it's still, yeah,
right?
minimum. Minimum. Still, I can walk on the.
The Florida's 1250 and we're 23,000 people.
Pump water. Mount Lake Terrace.
what should.
Oh. My thought is that, the work in Oak Harbor is not gonna get easier. We are building like how many developments with the population increase in the next few years?
The Growth Management Act is asking for 5,500 units. Units.
Units,
So when you think about what that equates to, yeah.
you know, at least another 10 to 15,000. So I'm just, it's not gonna get,
We're not shrinking.
we're not shrinking. At all.
So in 2 cycles, right, 2 voting cycles, we could go up. Right,
At least one, at least right now with the developments, you're the real estate guy, so right now,
2 years, 4 years.
I think this is a 2-year. This is a 2-year.
So if the gross management actions, they wanted 55,000 in 5 years.
The Growth Management Act, I have to look at the date. I want to say 2030, but I could have that wrong. But I think we're talking about that with the comp plan of where that goes, how that works, but it's 5,530 units is what's issued to the city of Oak Harbor.
So
And that's a requirement, and that's,
right.
Right.
is it 2030? Because that's what I thought I remembered reading. I think, thank you, yeah. I thought that was the date. It just feels far away, but not.
Right.
And so, I mean, and just like, I talked to someone yesterday and like, they were like 2007 or 8, the population was like 10,000. Like, so we're working on 50% of what the population was almost, in 2008. And looking at like, when did we actually update anything? When have we had these, when has this commission or council been pushed to step up their game? When has the standard been held to a higher standard? We continue to request and from the Navy more. We are wanting more jobs. We want higher salaries. We want these things. But we cannot do that without progress. And then you have people that also don't want progress. You can't have it all. You can't eat, not grow the food.
So do you want to make a motion?
Just waiting to start going through this.
I'm just looking at numbers and trying to compare populations and how much is being made. I'm also taking note of how many cities with populations less than ours are paying their council more than we are versus how many cities have populations that are equal or larger than ours and how much they pay. I'm just trying to get a sort of lay of the land truly about what we're talking about.
Medical package do these have too? Do they,
And that's,
because of compensation, that's considered part of it too. Paying
Absolutely.
their medical.
I'll be paying that.
Okay, here's a
So-
lot of.
so let's talk about that. I think that would be great. That's included in your report as well.
Yeah, I was gonna, you wanted those same cities that we did last time. And cause I'm working on a thing now to get
Oh,
those. So I could
lovely.
just.
Thank you very much.
So I'm doing it in the 2024 data set, so.
Oh, wonderful. That's okay.
But as far as the elected official benefits go, out of all the cities that responded, I think 133 cities provided information regarding elected official benefits. Only 2 indicated they provide vacation accruals for elected officials. And in addition, out of all the cities that responded to the survey, only 4 cities provided information regarding elected official benefits. So that normally when we're doing statistics, we would say that's insufficient data to draw a conclusion. And so
Can you advise what the benefits are?
it just,
Or, like, what benefits do the city council?
Ours right now.
it's really good. Oh, ours right now.
Ours right now.
My bad.
Ours right now.
But you're-
So we do not provide any type of accruals. They do not get any type of vacation accrual, sick leave
Makes sense.
accrual, because they're not clocking in, they're not hourly employees. They are currently provided the benefits at the part-time level for 20 to 32 hours a week for our regular employees. So 20 to 32 hours a week means that you get coverage for yourself at 100%. And if you want any dependents covered, it has to be paid out of your own pocket.
Is that health, right?
It's all health benefits, so it's health, medical, dental, vision.
Okay.
It also does include life insurance.
It does include
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so you said you're going so fast and I know
Yeah.
you know this, but I'm trying to make notes.
Yeah,
So you said health includes the medical, dental and vision.
medical, dental, vision, there is a life component. And then what we offer to everyone is the Employee Assistance Program, EAP. That's the most basic benefit plan that's offered to our employees that are 20 to 32 hours part-time status. So they get 100% coverage for themselves as council members. If they have any dependents that they want to have on their plan, they have to pay for them at our cost level, but 100% out of their pocket. City doesn't provide any cost share to their dependents like we do for our regular employees who are full-time.
And that is, so that I am very, very clear, the city council is receiving at this time, the exact same thing as the city employees who are working 20 to 32 hours per week.
Correct.
Which falls directly into the amount of hours that we have just been presented with by them that they work.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
it all
that in
falls-
terms of benefits,
They're in alignment.
yes, they're in alignment. I personally think that I'm comfortable and keeping that direct right where it is for the city council. That seems to make more sense to me than repealing things that have already been promised, or adding more benefits that takes them above and beyond what our city employees are already receiving.
Can I ask a quick question? So Anacortes, which we sent a pair to the mayor, do they get health benefits? They're a city council. Can you find that one out specifically?
It might be on the news survey, but I need to double check.
It's not on the survey and we can reach out.
Just some of this.
Thank you for being here, Sabrina.
Yes, thank you for all that you do.
Okay.
Can I text a friend?
Say that again, Michelle.
Let's just say,
Did you? Can she ask a question?
I think so.
So I'm Sandy Peterson, for those of you who don't know, and I just have a couple of questions. You guys are asking great questions and you've prompted me to think about something. You're comparing what looks to be like populations, right? But if you look at Bainbridge, which is a like population to us, they are also spending a lot more money than we are, but their mean salary in that area is a boatload better than ours.
Yes.
So are we comparing any of that when we're talking about what we're paying our council and or our mayor? Number one is why I was curious
some
about.
of them were,
And that's okay. That's fine. I just, cause I didn't
some
know.
of them were thrown out because they were just like, we know, like Seattle.
Right, they have a very different
I get that. Yeah.
budget than we do.
Right,
and
so
A different cost of living.
Thinking about our average wage here. And then I'm not sure that I know where does the money for this come from? Is it coming from capital budget and does it affect then what we can pay our other workers? And I don't know if that's an appropriate question to ask.
Oh, the funding would come from the general fund.
I mean, general fund, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily come from capital.
That was my mistake. So does that mean that if we pay X number of dollars out, that then we can't afford to pay COLAs or give raises to the people at the,
I mean, if that's, all that stuff is like city council decision. You know, we'll bring all that stuff in front of the council and they get to decide what they want in the budget for the next couple of years. I can't speak for the council.
of course, not.
Yeah, but we're gonna present a budget to them that continues the current operations that the city has. So the same level of employment and the same level of services that everybody's come to expect. There might be some improvements in there. It just depends on what the city council is looking for as far as improvements go. You know, like, for example, there might be something in parks, there might be things in police. It just depends on what the city council is setting for the direction of the city for the next 2 years of the budget.
So we might be recruiting a guidance grounds worker or works at the water plant from getting a raise that they are also.
I mean, you know, a lot of those folks are union workers and those contracts are already in place.
Okay,
So that those have been in place for, they're gonna be in place for 2025 and some are gonna go another year in 26. So those are set. I mean,
so we're gonna find this.
that's built in already, you know, there's a bargaining agreement with folks like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you got it.
That is a good question. We're going, but, it is for, no,
I assumed it would be an hour.
I didn't have a time limit, if I'm being really honest with you, Jason. Do you have, somewhere you need to be? When do you need to do we need to set a time limit? Because I understand you have, okay, great, then
I
that's,
guess if we're not,
let's,
let's the decision.
and we'll make another meeting. Good, so let's plan on going till 4:30 and we'll call it after that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I only have two.
Absolutely.
So in this part where we're talking about, the benefits. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
This is like, I think everybody's written their head.
Cynical.
It's
important.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
I think, if we.
That's okay.
Here, the benefits piece. But were we talking, that's my question. You were talking about the benefits like leaving that. We weren't talking about salary.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what that was my
Right.
question. I was
Yeah.
just trying to, that was.
So what would be actually the benefit cost? I mean, if you did, I'm not saying we're touching any of that, but what is the value of the
That's actually
benefits that they're getting?
really good question.
But my insurance about $600 by myself.
Right.
We estimate around 40%. 40% of their salary.
Right.
So for example, if you have somebody who's making $50,000, 40% of that's 20,000. But that's what we estimate for the benefit cost. Some of the benefits are fixed though, like healthcare. If you have a family plan, it's the same cost for someone making 80,000 and someone making 60,000. But some benefits are variable. Like for example, most folks in the, well, all the folks in the city have a pension. So the state requires the cities or the employers to contribute a certain percentage of salary into the pension. So if the salary goes up, the benefit cost goes up along with that. But you know, medical care, that's one of those things that keeps getting more expensive all the time. So that's one of the reasons, that's the primary reason why you see we estimate 40% of the salary. As going to benefits.
But for the council, what would you
Oh,
say?
councils did.
I'm thinking the council, what would you, what is the value of the benefit that they're getting on that?
Right, what is that?
What is the cost that it would be, or like
Yeah.
value for the health plan that they're
So is
getting?
it like 300, 200? I'm just throwing out.
So it does depend on if it's an employee only or if it's a family plan. And then it depends on if they've selected our Regents plan or our Kaiser plan. So they have a couple of options to choose from.
Let's say not the family plans, because all we're covering is the council person themselves.
So employee only plan per month, what we pay as a city for someone to be covered is $889.68
A month per person.
per person for the employee. It's $889.68 per month. That is our Well City rate that we get underneath the AWC plan for being a Well City and meeting their standards. If it was an employee family plan, so that would be employee spouse and 2 children, that cost from the city for that plan would be $2,594.
Can I ask, that plan is still available to the city employee, or to the council people at this rate, but they would have to pay, that $2,000 less the $889.
Less the $808,
They're gonna pay like
correct,
$1,200.
yes.
Okay,
So
so,
deduct the employee only cost, they're subject to pay the dependent cost.
so regardless of what they choose, the benefit they are gaining is $889.68 for the health alone.
For themselves, and that's the health and also is it the dental or the vision? It includes one of them. Dental or vision is good with that. Vision is so. So yeah, vision is included with the medical. It's the dental that is a separate extra cost that is very small
And also is provided to
and
them.
is also provided to them, yes.
So is it about $11 a month? Can we call this, or is it
The dental
do you
plan,
think it's fair to include dental and call it $900 a month is about the benefit?
it's $49 a month for an employee plan for the dental that we're offering right now.
So that's
$49.
$889, okay.
Yeah, $889 plus 49. Just over 900.
Yeah, $938 just and 68 cents for all those people who like those numbers. So. Okay, so they're already receiving a $938.68 benefit from the city for being on council. Is that correct?
At least, yes.
At least.
Because I didn't give you the vision because we pay for the vision for them. But the vision would be another additional $7.72.
Sounds like 900.
So it's like about nine.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just set that at 950 for the sake of this conversation.
Yeah.
So they're receiving $950 in benefits,
Plus,
Plus the seven,
approximately,
plus the 752.
right, plus $752.
they have the option to waive or to decline it.
Okay.
That is,
Yeah.
Right, 775,
Offer.
I'm sorry.
The offer is approximately $950.
because they could choose to decline it or waive it.
Mhm.
I don't think any of them have waived it right now from.
If they waive it, do they receive anything in like they don't get some sort of stipend or something for
No.
waiving that, right? Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm super
Yeah.
clear about everything.
So
that they're
basically, right
receiving.
now, with their salary or their pay and their benefits, it's valued at $17.35 a month.
That is correct.
And we just need to know, we can find out on Anacortes. If
I
that's,
text someone and I haven't gotten a response.
Well, we have contacts in each other, we're together too, right?
something good to know to compare.
It would be good to know, and I think that if we're trying to make sure we're comparing apples to apples, then I think we ought to make sure we're comparing apples to apples.
I still, even though we're on the benefits part, I still think the cash amount
I have,
should
increase. I have the average.
Okay.
So those same cities from the previous memo,
Mm-hmm.
let's see here. So I'm not gonna use Seattle.
I appreciate that because we threw that out the last time
They're
anyway.
like, they're an order of magnitude higher than like these others.
Yeah.
So not including them. The median, which is like in the middle, that the average is slightly different, but the median is $1,459 a month.
Okay.
And the average is $1,382 a month,
1,382.
82. So those are slightly different. That's the way statistics works. The lowest, the minimum is the city of Linwood, is $450. And the highest, not including Seattle, the highest is the city of Everett at $2,699. And some of those have lower population. I think most of them have higher population, like 65% of these cities have a high population.
One thing that would be interesting to look at in addition to population and comps is whether or not they have strong mayor or strong council. Something to
That was one of
consider.
the questions that they did.
I could look at, it's a different data set, but I could do that.
That was one of the questions they did ask,
Oh, I have it.
was there a city manager
Right, city administrator.
and a city administrator, so they wanted to know, that was what our council.
Every one of those cities is a mayor, strong mayor, form of government.
Good.
But not all of them have a city. I can put this in.
And as a point of clarification, are we considered a strong mayor or strong
Yes.
council? Strong mayor, that's what I thought, but
Yeah.
for the record, it's important to have that information.
I mean.
So, and just, why don't I give you a 2-second civics course? So, hi, everybody.
Please.
So there's two kinds of form of government in Washington state. This is unique in our state. There's strong mayor and strong council. A strong mayor is an elected mayor who runs and is elected in terms as you're familiar with. He is in this case, he is his own sort of independent executive. He's the CEO of the city. They can hire what's called a city administrator, which is what Sabrina is, and a deputy, which is what David is, or they can have the position, they can be a mayor with no city administrators and just operate with the directors. Generally, strong mayors are much more hands-on. The alternate is a strong council form of government where the council is elected and one of the council members appoints one of themselves to be the mayor. As a body, they hire a city manager. And the city manager is the CEO of the city. The city manager can be hired and fired by the city council. Those councils are far more hands-on. So they get to hire their city manager is the CEO. The CEO then manages the rest of the city. So it's a very different dynamic in how active the council is. When one of your council members is also the mayor, it's a very different dynamic, as you can understand. And then having the CEO of the city capable of being fired by your city council, that's a very different dynamic as well. So if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer, but it's good that your comps are the same form of government. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Sure does. Thank you so much, Hillary. I appreciate that lesson.
Also, according to the Municipal Research Service Center, 80% of cities, towns and cities and villages in the state of Washington have a strong mayor form of government. 20% have the council manager form of government. However, around 50% of the population is under both. So
Oh,
it
interesting.
just means that the larger cities tend to have the council manager form of government.
Okay.
Also, 12 cities, I think, have a commission form of government, but it's no longer effective. It's like, these are older cities that adopted this other form of government, which I know nothing about.
Okay.
But it was there in the MRC data.
Okay.
So that's.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Oh, so I have the cities that have city administrator and no city administrator. You know, I could, you want me to know what the averages with that or?
Sure, if you're ready.
Yeah, if you're already there, let's get that information.
Just take a second, this will take notes.
Hillary? Hillary,
Yes.
I have a question. It's
Sure.
probably not salary commission. However, does the city have a position on bullying or workplace bullying? Bullying the public.
It's unfortunate you had to even ask that.
Isn't it though?
Not really. And here's the problem we run into. And you guys are so wonderful to volunteer for something in the public sphere. There's a great downside, which is we as a country really get excited about freedom of speech and everyone's ability to comment on the government. Because you guys are government now. You're in a government building and you're working for the government. It is encouraged to allow people to comment on what you do. It's whether or not those people are working for the organization. We have, for instance, there are council guidelines that were adopted last year that say council should treat staff with respect. But that's really as close as we get. We've got personnel policies that say that you should all respect each other. You guys being volunteers sort of fall through the cracks on both of those things. So it's interesting because we always allow citizens to bully. Residents of the community get to bully their electeds. That's part of the system. It's not very pleasant. But if someone wants to go on Facebook and say, the mayor's this or that, that's kind of the political process in action. So we're very, very hesitant to limit anyone's ability to comment, even if it's very negatively or very hostily on how the government works. If it's coming from inside the organization, it should be covered by the personnel policies or by the council guidelines. But interestingly, because you're volunteers, you're not specifically identified in either one of those things necessarily. So if you feel that this is happening to you, let us know and we can work to find a way to alleviate that because it shouldn't be happening.
Not to me in particular. I
Yeah.
kind of thrive in that life, but I just see as an organization, and if this was an actual workplace and you had one department manager attacking another department manager publicly, then I would consider that to be an HR issue. And
Yeah.
that was my in general question. I didn't even think about us here. But in general, people that fall under the same payroll and then are getting paid out of the same kind of company. And then my insurance brain kicks in and says that the risk is because the city is at risk for not protecting its employees from the bullying because as an employee, I should have a safe work environment. And if that safe and work environment is being compromised by a fellow employee,
Yeah.
then that was my question.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
just
really
I'm
hard.
framing it from an insurance standpoint
Well, and
and
you're
also,
you're right on. And
risk.
and this is not this situation, but I've worked with other cities where a council member is physically coming into the office and harassing city employees. Like, and you know what you can't do as a city is you can't fire your council members. So even with very extreme bad behavior, there's very little we can do with when it comes to the public and the electeds. That's very much out of the control of City Hall. So what we've tried to do is try to get the council members to all agree on this policy of how they're going to treat staff. And they did that last year. And, we can only control what we can control.
So even if they're elected but paid, they're not an employee.
We can't fire them. Right? No one in City Hall can fire a council member. So while they're being employed by the city, we cannot discipline them. I can't put a council member on leave for bad behavior. They were elected. Same with the mayor. I can't fire a mayor. Council can't fire the mayor. The only people who can fire the mayor are the people who elected him. So we've got 8 employees, the mayor and the council members, who cannot be fired and cannot be disciplined and cannot be trained and cannot be coached. From an employment standpoint, it's a very strange situation.
No, it's just clarity for me and I just wanted
Yeah.
to have a good understanding of that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no,
Hillary,
good questions.
Can
Yeah.
you provide me with, this is sort of a clarification also, you just said something that sort of triggered a thought, and it was that they can't be trained. And is that correct, that they cannot be required to attend trainings?
Well, let's be careful about how I say that. What I mean is you can't force them to go to a training. There are a few trainings that are required by law. I think there's a public records training. I think they have to go to an AWC training once a year that are literally written into state law. But like I said, not this city, a different client of mine had a council member who would literally come into City Hall and harass people. And you can't send that person to harassment training unless they want to go. You can offer it, but you can't force them, because if they don't go, then what do I do? Do I fire them? We can't fire them. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, that is great information.
I heard about
We have about 7 minutes until we're supposed to be done here today.
So I got the numbers.
Excellent.
It's no different. It's like within 2 percentage points. So basically, I didn't include Seattle. The average with a city administrator is $1,394. The average without a city administrator for council member is $1,369 a month.
Basically, same.
It's within
Right.
2% of each other. And remember, that includes the assumption that the ones that are paid by meeting,
Right.
they just multiply the meeting time too.
Right.
So
Which we appreciate, because how else are you gonna figure that out?
that's just an assumption.
Okay, so they're actually paid less when they don't have a city administrator.
Yeah, like within 2%.
Ish, okay.
Interesting.
Great. I make a motion that we keep the city benefits for city council as they are now. And that we return to talk about their salaries for another meeting. Because I personally would like to digest some of what we've talked about, and I'm not ready to throw out a number, someone else is.
No, it's the same thing, the mayor, we took a couple of
Right,
times.
right.
I mean, there's a lot of data, and then there's a lot of information to, to mull through. And then talk
And then if
about
we
it.
can come back with Anacortes information.
Right, because we are
That
waiting
was
for,
complete from-
Right, because, right.
we are waiting for Anacortes, so.
I think it's something we should all be thinking about, is how does that benefit factor in, because it's not apples to apples with other cities, because so few other cities provide their council people with benefits outside of as far as we know. That's the information we have, which is all we can go off of. So I'm gonna say it again. I make a motion to keep the benefits portion of the compensation package for city council the same as it currently is.
I just thought of something. Roberts.
Yes,
Chairman
yeah.
can't make a motion.
That's correct. I cannot. Thank you so much for
Thank you
that.
for that.
I am certainly not attempting to nefariously go through any means that I shouldn't be.
No motion was even said.
There was no motion. Would anyone like to make any motion?
I'll make the motion to keep the council's benefits the same as they are right now.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion that we'd like to have happen?
No.
Great. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any who are against? It's unanimous, the motion passes.
To keep the benefits.
To keep the benefits the same for city council moving forward.
Then we will reconvene.
And we will
Discuss the salary.
reconvene to discuss salary. That is correct.
And then is this the same? So,
We need to set up a meeting.
okay, my schedule
After Labor Day.
Huh?
After Labor Day.
after Labor Day. Yes, it's always great. right?
Yes, yes. So after September 1st.
But
Second.
After that whole week.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be gone. The 9th
Okay.
and the 15th, I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. Good night.
On the 19th. It looks like
I
we're,
can Zoom, I can Zoom if it's like the first one, but, I'd rather,
how do we feel about September 23rd?
and these are the same rules when we like,
That's now.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
3 PM on September 23rd?
third.
Yes.
And that'll give us time to
Okay.
get the
And-
information.
And can we all plan to be here until 4:30 on that day too, just in case that,
Oh, you're not?
or you're not available that day?
Oh, no, but I provide the information. Don't reschedule because of me.
Well, we might need to, because you've been leading it.
No, just from providing the information.
Right, but with the data that you've been
Yeah.
leading, I'm not gonna be able to
Do it
manipulate your
there.
data.
Yeah, we can definitely meet a different day. That was just it doesn't have to,
be on
does it
Monday.
have to be on a Monday?
No, that's not.
Okay,
Will you be gone, David?
Yeah.
For how long?
Oh, that day.
Just that day?
Yeah, oh, yeah, I'll be,
Will
I'll
you
be
be there
back the
that
next
week?
day.
Okay.
What about the 24th, the next week?
I can make the 24th work at that same time.
I can make the 24th. Sure.
Okay,
Excellent. The 24th it is,
so that's Tuesday, September 24th.
at 3 PM.
Okay,
So,
And we will all plan on being here until 5 and
okay.
unless we need to not be. Unless we don't need to be, is what I meant to say. Goodness. Okay, is there anything else we need to add to the agenda for the next meeting?
we're continuing, right?
Yes, we will be continuing speaking about the report items we were given, the report items we will be given, and
So we have the mayor, so have mayor review benefits for mayor. Are we?
oh,
keeping the mayor?
we actually need to review that next week, their
Yeah.
next meeting as well.
And so it'd be, salary for council and benefits for
Benefits for
mayor.
mayor. Okay. Because we didn't even touch that about the mayor's benefits today, so.
I would like to say for the record that these meetings are not so much as about this current cycle of politicians in place, but for the future of the city. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, because this city is growing and there are things that are happening, and trying to do this after the fact would be a humongous glitch
Thank you. Anything else we need to address, or can we move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn the meeting. Say that.
Your second. we have to vote.
Yes, we have
We can do
to,
a motion.
we can do a motion.
Just adjourn. Yeah, we just did 1, 2. 1,
Okay.
2.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye,
I got my, I do
off
have,
we go.
I do have my rule book,
Bye, everybody.
I ordered it.
Hillary, thank you.
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was thinking that, and I just, well, I just kind of.
Thanks to Sandy. Otherwise, yeah, we're.
Thank you.
We went through the whole
Thank you
meeting.
so
over it.
much.
I know that you guys operate